Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Omkar Sangeeta Diliprao Sonone, a mentor in Team AFMG, and today we are elated and glad to have two close friends with us who have successfully cleared their FMGE in this recently conducted Jan 2023 session. So let's have a chit chat with them and let's find some answers for all the questions that usually FMG aspirants have when they begin their preparations. So first of all, Dr. Kudrat and Dr. Richa, we are glad to have with you and first of all, we wholeheartedly congratulate both of you on your huge success
Thank
in
you,
this
sir.
recently conducted
Thank you so much,
examination.
sir.
Convey the same to your families as well.
Yeah,
Now,
sure.
I would like to ask you first question. Please go one by one, Dr. Kudrat and Dr. Richa. Now, please tell us more about yourself. Please
So,
go ahead, Dr. Kudrat
shall I
first.
start?
Yeah,
Of course.
So, my name is Patel Kudrat, and I pursued my MBBS from Guangxi Medical University. And I cleared the this FMG December 2022 exam, and I scored 185.
great. Please go ahead, Dr.
and,
Richa.
and I'm Richa Astana, and I pursued my graduation from Perm State Medical University, and I finished my MBBS from last year, and I scored 172.
Great. So first of all, congratulations once again. And now my first question would be, what was your initial strategy when you began your preparations for FMGE, and why did you choose AFMG at first place?
Richa, carry on.
First, you then I.
Go ahead,
Okay.
please. Yeah.
Okay, so my initial preparation was with the basic, and I started my preparation from the third year itself. But my main focus was on the core subjects like ops, then medicine, surgery, PSM. So because from these four subject, bulk of questions come. So I started
Right.
with this, and then proceeded with the small subjects.
Great.
I started FMG from the beginning of the fourth year in COVID, from the starting of COVID. And then I met someone who told me about AFMG, and she is Kudrat. And she told me about the importance that we gain from the AFMG. And of course, it gave us a path because we studied a lot theory, but we never focus on the clinical aspect or practical aspect and the concised one which we get from
Right.
the coaching institute. We get the material already, but we don't know where to focus more and where to know what about means, मतलब means you got it ना, right? कि है
Right.
ना कौन सी चीज कैसे क्या फोकस है वो सब AFMG में है ना डॉक्टर विकास एंड डॉक्टर ओमकार सेड के accordingly which we have to focus more and which we can ignore also, which we can
Right.
neglect also कि we can't do everything all in one, so we have to
True.
focus थोड़ा ऐसे तो वैसे वाला.
Right. So then my question in relation to this itself, once you began your preparation, once you graduated, and उसके बाद जो तुम्हारी preparation शुरू हुई for this examination, like what was your initial strategy? Like how much part you were focusing on the theory and how much time you were solving MCQs? Like how did you manage? Both of you are having definitely different experiences because you have joined an offline batch and you are on the online batch. So one by one, we'll listen to both of you. Please go ahead, Dr. Kudrat, and then
Yeah, so actually, I was lucky enough because of Corona. I had much time. So actually, I have done classes in advance, AFMG classes, when June session I have done. But I appeared in the exam on December exam. So I had much time. So my first focus was on to clear the theory, and then first revision was the theory, and then when I started with the second revision, I simultaneously do whichever topic I do, I simultaneously do that MCQs from that particular topic. So this was my strategy because I had time. So
right. So that's important as
yeah,
well that you have done the
yeah,
classes in advance itself, and that's for you
yeah,
had enough time for revisions, okay? And you were
yeah,
simultaneously solving MCQs. On the other hand,
yeah.
I would like to ask Dr. Richa, like it was your first time when you were appearing for the examination. So how did you manage, and like what were the benefit that you got from this offline classes as such?
We were the one who was not knowing anything when we entered AFMG. We were not knowing anything, how what to follow, how to follow, and what we should follow the strategy. Also, we were not knowing anything. So
Right.
firstly, we were just following the pace which the classes were holding, and then we must be doing that कि जो आज का है वो आज ही करना है, that वाला चीज. And we were not having any time, because to be very honest, we were not having that much time also, कि that we have to do such thing extra also. So we were preparing beforehand also, but when we entered AFMG, we were solely depending on it. Okay, whatever is asked to us, we were following that only. So yeah, MCQ, I'm lagging in it because I was not doing as much as I should do. So wo wala cheez I must recommend others to do, because I was lagging in it. Okay, रोज के MCQs, because teachers ask us to solve more than 100 and at least 100, but we were not. I was not doing it. So wo wala
Right.
cheez.
So that's important that we are having two different experiences with us, so we can have a wider aspect for the same question. So first of all, now the next question to this would be, once you're done with your classes and all your notes, like as you told, daily you were trying to revise at least all the content that was given to you, and then you were solving the MCQs as well. Once you're done with it, now how did you proceed for your revisions? First, Dr. Richa, and then we'll come to you.
Okay, first I should start, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you asked? Sorry.
How did you manage your revisions, and what was your approach while you were revising the subjects?
I just used to listen to you and Dr. Vikas. Whatever you say, we were doing that only. That if you ask us to do कि आज इसका exam है, you have to prepare for it. We were preparing for that only. Means, to be very honest, I was not having that much strategy. कि I have to do this. This 10 days I should devote to this subject. Then to this. No, I was not doing it. I was doing it daily. Means I was making the chart of the daily expect only. कि today I have to do this much, and because we were not knowing the thing of tomorrow, थोड़ा ऐसा वाला चीज. So I was just following the daily expect कि today I have to do this much, and if I lag, so I have to cover the next day. But yeah, I was preparing day by day कि I have to do this much, and like that way. So ask Dr. Vikas and Dr. Omkar for the more in detail advice.
Right. So now I'd like to come to Dr. Kudrat on this. Like, how many number of revisions did you give because you finished early the early in
Yeah.
course, and like what was your strategy and approach?
Yeah, actually I finished earlier, but whenever I was doing first revision, I was like okay. Then did second, third, then I got into the depth of the subject. When I done the notes, then afterwards I did your chanting simultaneously of that particular topic, and with image, and in your chanting session, image based session were also included. So image based was also clear that I was doing was simultaneously whatever topic I was taking. If I am taking some particular topic, I was doing everything about that topic, and then at the last MCQs, I was
True, true.
focusing like
So
that.
that's an important advice. Right. That's an important advice. Like all these topic by subject you need to cover simultaneously,
Yeah,
because if you're not doing the images at once, if you're not doing something, so what happens at the end is all these things keep on piling up, and then you're not able to cope up with it.
yeah.
That's important,
And
right?
because of this, I was not bored enough. That if I am continuously reading bored, then reading notes, then I was getting bored. So like chanting session was there, or almost test and discussion sessions of yours are uploaded in the videos in the YouTube. So I was doing simultaneously only, so I was not also bored.
That's true. So usually that happens, like reading and rereading the notes gets definitely
Yeah,
over our nerves sometimes.
it
So
sucks
yeah,
sometimes.
that's true. So now my next question to you would be, like a lot of people are saying like the pattern of the exam was different from the previous one. Okay, so how it was different, first thing, and second, were the AFMG notes and the AFMG classes were able enough to cope up with this changing pattern of the examination and the questions? So first, Dr. Kudrat, continue please.
I can definitely say that notes were enough, but in the exam, it was not that the 300 MCQs were only from the notes. There were from outside also. So, but to clear the exam, it's okay that if we focus on the notes, because we just have to get 50%. Not we don't want to get 100%. So it's okay to that to maintain with the notes. It's
Right,
good
right.
enough.
That's important. Now, Dr. Richa, please let us know, as she said, definitely not all the questions would be from the notes. Okay. So, definitely there would be some of the MCQs which were from outside as well. How did you manage to tackle those MCQs? Like, were those the MCQs which gave you anxiety during the examination, or how did you cope up with it?
First of all, anxiety is, we all know we have, but जब कंप्यूटर बंद हो जाता है तब और एंजाइटी हो जाती है and that for 12 minutes. So that was my biggest anxiety in the examination hall. But yeah, MCQs were from outside, but as you said already, beforehand only कि obviously 60 to 70 MCQ will be from outside, so we have to do it anyway. So
Right,
take a deep breath and then remember your parents, and then rethink about it, and then whatever you think at the first point, don't change it. and
right.
and obviously there were especially from ops, there were many MCQs that were from outside. And
Yeah,
yeah,
it was single liner, most of the.
and image based also we have not seen that much ke itna zyada, but हाँ ना, image based sessions help us a lot because images were there, it was flooded. So that was the best, means from our, means from my point of view, that it was the best because at least we have seen that images before also in the
True.
image based sessions. So one liners we can't help which were from outside because we know it or we don't know it. So that
Right.
was the thing, but it's okay. It's finally done, right? So
So
it's
that's an
okay.
important advice that both of you have given us, that the notes are more than enough, but
Yeah,
definitely
for sure.
it's important to remember that some of the amount of MCQs would be there from outside, but it's important to tackle them smartly and not focus on them which are not from the notes. Rather, focus on the MCQs which actually belong to the notes, and you should not mark them wrong. That's very important. So now, as Dr. Richa also mentioned about the computer getting it was off for almost 12 minutes, so definitely that imparts a different amount of anxiety which usually already people have, but they get more nervous, more anxious. So how was the experience over there, and how did you manage that?
I was literally crying and I went to the washroom to wash my face. Ki, nahi, 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 abhi nahi. But yeah, of course there were means there were teachers who were encouraging, nahi, nahi, answers nahi remove hote. You, whatever you have marked, it will be remain there only. So it's okay, it's fine. But still, the computer was not getting open. So that was somewhat, but it's okay. It means although I was in the last 30 MCQs, so it was like a ठीक है अभी हो जाएगा. And the one more thing, as you said, कि we don't have to mark save, and means we have to always mark save and next, not that purple one. And
Right.
I was marking all green. I was not waiting for, because once the computer gets off, we don't know anything. So that's why I
Yeah.
was marking all green. Even if I was having doubt, I was just note down the numbers that I want to go back. So I was
Right.
just marking green wala cheese bus. And
Okay.
whenever I get के blackout होता है वहां पे होता है.
True.
Whenever I was getting that way, I was just close my eyes for 10 seconds and I take a deep breath and then I read the question again, because I have noticed 2 or 3 MCQs was so silly, but still I marked wrong because of that anxiety. Because
True.
obviously एकदम से बहुत easy MCQs, इवन ऐसी इमेजेस भी थी जो हमने एटलीस्ट 10 to 20 times we already seen it, but we were confused there because of that anxiety. But that's why I said कि take a deep breath, close your eyes and then redo it. Then you will realize
That's
कि हाँ ये silly
right.
mistakes we have to, because it make a difference for sure.
That's very important, I feel, because incidences do happen. There would be some mistakes that usually happen, but still you need to maintain that pace. You need to be there in the examination hall. And yeah, whenever you face some issues, you need to take a deep breath and then you face whatever it is in front of you. Now, I'd like to ask Dr. Kudrat, what was your strategy in the last 10 days before the examination? Because not the exact on the exam day, it also almost from the last 10 days before the examination. So, what was your strategy in those 10 days?
Actually, my strategy was to at least whatever I have done and whatever I know, I just want to revise it quickly or just go through it. As you say, just photocopy images would be that mind mein rakhna. So I was just focusing on that thing and some volatile topics or volatile table or some volatile things which I was not remembering. Even after doing 4 to 5 times, still I was not remembering that I was doing it. And my focus was to completely go through this everything which I don't
Right.
know. I have already marked that I know that I don't know this. So that was my thing.
That's important. So now I would like to ask you, there would be some amount of subjects, definitely those would be your strongest point or your weakest links. So how did you tackle those? Because not everybody could be good at everything, right? So like what was your strategies for that? Both of you, I would like to listen. First, Dr. Kudrat, go ahead, please.
Actually, sir, I was like, instead of doing 100% in a particular subject, I was focusing that if I complete 70 to 85% in every subject, it would be good for me. Sir?
I hope it's fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
there was some
sure.
internet issue. No, it's
Yeah.
still. So I hope that's important as well. I've heard your answer anyways. So yeah.
Okay.
So now I'd like to move on to Dr. Richa. Like, what were the subjects that you were facing difficulties at, and how did you tackle those?
Mine thoda sa different because I was focusing on my strong subject in the end. Because whatever I know it well. So I should focus more on them. And I yeah, of course, my volatile subject were like biochemistry, microbiology. So I left PSM. I left time for them also. But yeah, but I was focusing more on medicine, ENT, optha, which I know well. So
Right.
thoda sa, and I was solving less MCQs in that last 10 days. I was solving less MCQs because I don't want to get so much fatigue, only 30 to 40 MCQs daily.
Okay.
So in that way. And
What?
image based
Yeah.
MCQs, and that was more rather than one liners.
Okay. So what role does usually previous year questions and previous year topics play according to you in the examination? So Dr. Richa.
Yeah, of course it play a good role because there were many MCQs which we have discussed in the class, and that were there. So in one liners also, that was even in biochemistry ENT there were topics which repeated ekdam same. Huh, somewhere in medicine it was not like that, but it's fine. But things were repeated. Okay, we can relate, and the topics also related. So, for example, that question was there, which I told you, Bell's palsy wala. It
Right.
was through a twisted way because they were asking about upper motor neuron, but we
Right.
have learned in lower motor neuron aspect. So, वैसे वाला चीज it was almost repeated, but थोड़ा सा different way.
Right. So that's true that previous year topics or the questions would be similar. The only thing is they would be somewhat twisted. The framing of the questions might be changed, but that's the only thing. Otherwise, the usual topics remain the same, right? So that's the takeaway. Now, I would like to ask Dr. Kudrat, like,
Yeah.
as we were discussing about PYQs also, so we did a lot of questions as well. But
Yeah.
apart from that, we were also having a lot of other test and discussions or like other sessions as well, whether they were revision sessions by us or by the faculties themselves, or the image based sessions. How all of these played a role in your preparation, and how did you use them for your schedule?
Especially test and discussion played an important role because it teached us how to rule out the option, then come to the final answer, or we can find a key word in a clinical case. So it helped you. Your test and discussion was helpful, that how to solve MCQ in particular topic and how to go through that. It
Right.
was much helpful.
Okay. So what's your take on that, Dr. Richa, for all the other supplementary sessions?
It means I would say that in sessions we open our mind, because when we see only the MCQ and we think ourselves, the thinking is very different. But when we speak and when we listen to it itself, then we know what where we are going wrong, and then what we have to correct more. So, and then we also know that what is our weak points, means what is our weak parts also, then we can focus on it. So that's why in sessions I usually, even I, well, I speak wrong answers also very confidently. Then we never forget that, because when we speak we
True.
know what we are saying. So That was the main thing, that we are revising it again and again unknowingly. We are
That's
revising it, we are grasping it also. So that was the main key to it.
That's true. I feel that's very important. You have mentioned, and I feel, and I can applaud you for that. The reason being, like it's better that you make mistakes, even if you go wrong. That does not matter. If you make mistakes, you will learn from it, and that's important as well. Now, I would like to ask you, how does the QRS played a role as such? And then I'll come to another question. So let's finish about all these sessions together. So, what was the role of the QRS, and when did you revise it?
I revised it on the same day only, because the next day never come. Never come. When we see the PDF and we we think that it will come, it will never come. So I always try to do it on the same day itself. And obviously QRS help, because the way you share your means experience, it's very different for us, because we know nothing. We know nothing because we are the beginners. We know nothing. So the way you say us, the what we should follow, the strategy and the main key points, the way you say that this is important, this you have to do it. You can't bear this. कि if you don't know this, you know nothing. So वो वाला चीज was very important. The way you and all other faculties say कि this is important, this much you should know at least. So we
Right.
know, if even if you are weak in some particular subject, we know that this part we can't leave. Other means, like for example, my head and neck is thoda weak, बहुत weak. So I know what to do. I can leave cervical plexus, but what I can't, that I know. Okay, this much I have to do. The next
Right.
I can do that. That's the plus point. That when before we were used to study from prep letter or something, we know the theory very well. But after we enter AFMG and the coaching, the guidance you give, that's more important. Okay, which we have to follow. Okay, what we should do and what we should do it less. ऐसा वाला चीज.
Right.
So that's what we know.
That's important. How did the QRS help you, Dr. Kudrat?
I think I totally agree with Dr. Richa. Yeah.
Great. So now, my next question to you, as you are having different experiences, I would like to ask you about the obstacles and the difficulties that you face now. Because a lot of people talk about the right things that they do, they usually miss out on the mistakes that they have done. And I would like the upcoming FMG aspirants to focus on these because they should overcome this now. So, what were the obstacles online when you are attending a session? Because there would be a lot of disturbances when you are attending or when you are preparing from home as well. So, how did you overcome that, Dr. Kudrat first?
Actually, sir, my biggest mistake was that I did my first revision very, very fast. So I did focus in the important
Right.
topic and I was not in the depth. So whenever I did second revision, I was feeling that this something is left. This is left. This is left. So then I was feeling that no, I haven't completed the subject yet. Still, I was doing second revision also, but I was not able to. I was not able to solve the MCQs. So
True.
so I think my biggest mistake was that if that I should do the first revision very carefully, that I have made mistake, but that I realized afterwards, so no point. Then I started again second time, and then third time also I just started. Some points were also left, so then I started, I then something updated also, and then I completely focused on the important things, and that was already told. Yeah.
True.
And online I just attended texting discussion and the chanting session and this, but the live classes I have already attended, so that wasn't a problem for me.
Right. So now it's
Yeah.
important that you have already mentioned that the first revision should always be a thorough one and not a glancing
Yeah.
one. The glancing revision should be the second or the third revisions usually, right? That's
Yes.
very important. Now, coming to Dr. Richa, what were the difficulties while you were attending offline classes, and what were the mistakes that you have done
So subject wise or whole in one.
in your preparation, in your journey? What were the obstacles that you faced, and what were the mistakes?
This is ulta. In our obstacles, in our problems, we were having our journey. So as Dr. Kudrit already said, the subject wala part, I would like to recommend ki please focus on your mental health also, because it's very important. Because your health and mental,
Especially living in Delhi.
yes, of course, and just because of you, I was left alone there. So
Yeah. Sorry.
So that's the main thing. We should focus on our health and mental health also, because in enthusiasm, over enthusiasm, we go to classes also, we do everything whatever we could, but the main thing is we have nothing, we have no one to share all this obstacles. And thanks to you that you were there, and we were eating your brain like anything. And obviously you and Dr. Vikas, we have only you two, because we have no seniors also, so we know nothing about it before. We were just essay. So I must say ki subject wise, obviously you have to follow, and you will do, everyone do, because it's like you have only 6 months and you have to do all 19 subjects, and you will do it. But the main thing is, you don't talk to your parents properly, you don't talk. And only thanks to Dr. Kudrat, in fact I have only one, only she. So but obviously we have that lack of communication, because we all are busy, we all are
True.
busy in
Yeah,
our,
true.
speak to our parents, because I always used to hide it. But once we speak, we know that where we are lacking, and when we know what to do and what to not, and we know whom to trust, whom to not. So this is also important कि पहले से sorted जाओ. You should know कि with whom you are going to stay, where you are going to do all this thing. We should do it, because subject वाला चीज, study वाला चीज सब हो जाता है. But जो नहीं होता है वो ये नहीं होता है. And because of this we lag behind in studies also. We are
That's
not
true.
able to focus. एंड में बहुत मेस्ड अप हो जाता है, बहुत ज्यादा हो जाता है. सो
That's
थोड़ा ज्यादा हो गया, बट
that's
स्टिल.
very important. But I feel like I am a very strong advocate of mental health issues as well. So I can strongly agree on this, that if you are facing some mental health issues, that is definitely going to negatively impact your preparation somewhere. So you need to take care of your health as well when you begin your preparations, specifically when you are in Gautam Nagar. That's true. So when you are at the comfort of your home, you usually don't face such issues. But over here, definitely a lot of times that happens. And when usually both of you are first timers, but when usually you are repeaters, so there's a lot of other pressures as well that usually go on your in your heads as well. So definitely to cope up with that is another challenge apart from the academics as well. So that's a very important issue that you have raised as well. So now lastly, coming to the conclusion, I would like to take some advice from you, both of you, for the upcoming FMG aspirants. What should they do and what they shouldn't? So first of all, Dr. Richa, you can proceed.
Okay, my advice is all ki talk to Dr. Omka and Dr. Vikas first, because they know well. Because even after passing 6 months, I am just feeling that I know nothing, because we do whatever you said. We solely followed you. So there's means, I should say ki you should have a mentor, because without them it's not possible. Because even though we were having so many obstacles, we were having you and Dr. Vikas. So that's what is important. I must say, because no one shared to all these things to parents. To be very honest, no one shared, because obviously we think,
Yeah,
because
true.
हम उन्हें stress नहीं दे सकते. Even though they act very strong, we can't. So that's why I solely means, I was having only Dr. Kudar, and she also dished
Yeah,
me and in
yeah,
the end. So, but still we connected through phones, of course,
yeah.
and
Actually, we were in the same boat, so we can understood the situation.
That's true.
we were together from Ellen, so we have the
Yeah.
same journey and same failure,
From
same thing.
11th and 12th standard, we were together.
So we have the same things, everything together. So, but
Great.
still, I should say कि you should be planned. कि ऐसे ही नहीं आ जाना है, means ऐसे ही नहीं होता है, and we have to work for it. There is no other option, no other. Obviously we are sad, we are जो भी, but we have to work for it, and वो तभी possible है when we have a direction. Because
True.
everyone knows that we have to study this 19th subject, but no one knows how to do it. Like ऐसे नहीं होता कि फर्स्ट वी कैन डू डायरेक्टली मेडिसिन एंड देन वी कैन डू फिजियो एंड ये सब बात, ऐसे नहीं होता. देयर इज everything step by step, and for that we need you, because we don't know what to follow, what not to. So in every forms it's like, and the motivation in between you gave us, because every time we fall, you were there to pick up. So that's what I would suggest कि please have a direction, because without it there will all messed up. Even if you know everything, there will be a mess. So as बस.
Right, right. That's important advice. I feel there should be, as you have said, there should be a strong family support. Along with that, a friend who is always supporting you besides you, and you are an example for the same as well. And definitely, apart from that, a guidance from the faculties is always required because all of them are working hard. But without direction, it is not focused towards a single goal. And for that, definitely, you always need a path to follow. Now, Dr. Kudrat, what is your advice before bidding bye?
I think I don't have to give advice because you are there, Dr. Vikas are there, Vikas is there. I think you are the motivation pills for us. Whenever you talk, it's okay. We will be motivated. But yeah, parent support is the must, and 2 3 friends, positive vibe, positive people, and the hard work, consistency. All this matters a lot,
Right.
and everybody has a different journey.
True.
Yeah, but
Definitely,
we
it's
have to
not a
go
one
through
day thing,
this.
I feel. Yeah, it's a long marathon journey where all of these things that you have mentioned right now play a very important role as well.
Yeah.
That's very true. So, now coming to the end of this session, I am elated to congratulate you all both once again on your huge success. And I would like to wish you both a very best of luck from the on behalf of Team AFMG for all the future endeavors that you usually will undertake. Thank you so
Hope
much
you
for
take
joining.
the interview again with us for PG.
Sure, sure. We will be more than glad. So we will be having a NEET PG aspirant who will be cracking their NEET PGs and definitely
Yeah,
a very successful surgeon or a physician to be.
hope so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, sir.